Hey guys, this video is on a older model neck knife from Cold Steel. This is the Cold Steel Para Edge neck knife. I believe this is out of production. I could be wrong, but I don't think they make this specific model. They sure make they still make styles like this, small neck knives. I think for the most part they're smaller overall length, smaller blades and smaller handles. But very similar style handle and style neck knife. Just want to go over a couple things with this knife. I really like I said, because this is older, it's a little bit larger. I kind of like the this size, which I'll measure for you here. It has a cutting edge of 2 3/4 inches, and looks to be a full length of 5 3/4 inches. So, you know, it's not not the smallest neck knife, but it's certainly not a large knife. You know, you can see, as you can see in my hand here, it's got that clip point style blade, combo edge, half serrated, half plain edge. Now, what I want to go over real quick, it really doesn't have anything to do with the knife so much, but when you're measuring your blade for legality purpose, like for example, if you you have a restriction in your area where you can only carry a knife with a 4-inch blade or less. Then when they measure blades by law, okay, they do not measure what part is sharpened. They measure from above the handle all the way up. So like I said, this is a 2 3/4 inch sharpened edge, okay, but it's a full, let me see if I can hold this one hand, it's a full 3-inch blade, okay, from the very bottom here all the way to the tip is 3 full inches. Okay, and I know it doesn't sound fair because this isn't a sharpened part of the blade, but they will consider this the blade. Okay, just keep that in mind if you are trying to stay under a certain restriction on size. What I do like about, like I said, what I do like about this knife is the blade shape. The clip point blade offers good strength, but you have a decent tip here if you needed it. I don't know offhand what this steel is. I would have to imagine something like an AUS 8 or similar. It's kind of soft, so it's very easy to sharpen, but it doesn't hold an edge, you know, too well. Perfectly fine for most utility work, though. Like I say in most of my videos, or I'm saying now anyway, is that you don't really need an awesome steel. For the most part, you know, general cutting purposes, you know, as long as you have some basic knowledge on sharpening, you don't have to worry about getting the the hottest steel out there. You know, most of it will work fine as long as you have a good heat treat on it. But anyway, to show the edge here, just real quick, you know, nothing. You know, I wouldn't say it's dull in any means, but it's not. It's definitely sharp, but it's not. It's not as sharp as, believe it or not, as sharp as I would like it. Cuts very nice. You know, as you see, this is basic standard printer paper. You know, computer printer paper. As you see there, I used the serration, and it got caught up, so it tore the paper instead of sliced it. This straight edge, and for the most part, you know, the serrations itself are sharp. Okay, it will cut through, but again, see how it caught on the edge here and tore it instead of ripped it? The straight edge part of this knife is pretty sharp itself. Okay, but for the most part, I like to get my knives sharp enough where it will cleanly slice newsprint. Okay, very thin newsprint. If your blade will slice through that without binding up very easily, then it's pretty sharp. You know, you don't have to worry about that. That's a good working edge. But at the very least, you know, as you can see, at the very least, for my standards anyway, is to be able to cleanly slice through some printer paper like this. So this is totally fine. I keep this as a backup knife anyway. That's originally why I made this video. It was for LSU Tigers 1010. He wanted to. He saw my other video on the Maxpedition bag, and I briefly showed a Ziploc bag full of some knives. I said I use as backups, and this is one of those backup knives. I like to keep a neck knife in my bag in case, you know, in case I need one. So, because I don't always carry a neck knife on me. I always have a folding knife, but I don't always have a neck knife. But the knife is great. I'm going to talk about what I don't like. In a similar case like the Columbia River Knife and Tool Dogfish, The knife is nice, but I have a gripe with the sheath. Because this knife has a nice wide handle to hold on to, okay, and a nice guard that protects your, if you're stabbing into something, protects your hands from sliding off and coming in contact with the blade, the cutting edge. Very good feature to have, especially when you're working very hard with your knives, so that you lessen your chances of slipping off and onto that blade. But what they did here is they accommodated for that in the sheath, and it's really nice if you wear your knife over your clothes. But if for some reason you needed to conceal this knife, and for the most part I like carrying a neck knife because it's kind of concealed. It's not visible to most people. Most people don't know you're even carrying it, unless of course you're maybe another knife guy. But you can see here from the side, the profile, nice and thin here, and then bam, you have that big, thick, wide guard, and then of course the handle's not too bad, but that guard really spoiled, it kind of ruins it. For being a good concealable neck knife anyway. Like I said, if you wear this over your jacket or over your shirt, not a problem whatsoever. But it doesn't have that thin, slim design like you see on some most neck knives. You can see here I had added some 550 paracord, some OD green paracord for the necklace part. But this knife originally came with some kind of black cord. Similar to 550, but it didn't have any inner strands, so it definitely wasn't 550 grade. But it still worked as fine as a necklace. But anyway, the knife, I really like the knife. Like I said, my only gripe is the sheath, but it's definitely functional. It has the 6 eyelets here, the 2 for the front, nice for carrying it, as a necklace, like I do with this one, as a neck knife. But if you wanted to use a tech lock on this, they have the kind of standard width that accommodates the tech locks. And some of you might be going, tech lock, what the heck is that? I'll make a separate video for tech locks and explain that. All that really is, it's a special piece, a special clip that you use on these Kydex sheets so that you can wear this on your belt. And it's cool because you can wear it vertically or horizontally or in any kind of angle, whatever lines up. I'll explain that in my other video. I'll make a whole video for tech locks. But anyway, this knife, I would say, if I had to rate it, if I had to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, I would probably give it like a 7, high 7 or an 8. Like I said, the only drawback for me is the one benefit of having a neck knife is having that small, thin profile that's concealable under your shirt. So that's kind of a drawback for me personally. But the knife itself, is totally fine. Very good working knife. Because this is straight here, it's a molded fit with the guard, but because it's straight, this can be inserted and clicked in either direction. I can flip this around and pop it in the same way. So that's pretty cool. That's something you don't normally see. Neck knives are usually form-fitted one direction. You cannot reverse that in the sheath. Okay, so that's kind of a neat feature. So I don't know, maybe I'll bump it up to a 9. Why not? It does have a little lanyard hole here, which can accommodate 550 paracord if you can push it through with something. But overall, I really do like this knife. Unfortunately, I don't believe it's still being made. But if you do find these somewhere for sale, if you could afford it, pick it up. I believe that, I don't know, originally, I don't really want to give a price because I don't remember specifically how much this was, but it was definitely under $20. So if you see one for 20 or less, I would recommend picking it up. It's a cool discontinued knife to have. So thank you very much for your time.